It's on! Good evening.
Ooh, jeez. Let's stop whatever that is.
Here, I'll just...
The sounds are cool, but yeah. We're ready now.
Woo.
Good evening. I'm Doobie Mosley, co-founder of Laughing Place, co-host of this show, Disney Parks Talk Live, the show in which we talk about the week or so in Disney parks. Right over there is my wife, Rebecca. How you doing, Rebecca?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you, babe?
I'm doing well. Right down there is the Vice President of all things Star Wars, Southern California Theme Parks and Shaving, Michael Celestino. How you doing?
I am well and tired.
And down there is our Vice President of not wearing Disney clothing today, Jeremiah Good.
So
we are here to talk about the week in Disney theme parks with you. So if you have any questions, anything you'd like to see us cover, just feel free to use the chat for that. Obviously, our big story today will be the new sand sculpture at Downtown Disney, but we're going to save that for later and start with a few quick hits, and then we will get to that sculpture. We're also going to get to Star Wars. What am I talking about? We're going to get to Star Wars Fun Time After Hours event that Mike Celestino went to.
I want to go to Star Wars Fun Time. That sounds more entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
And then a large part of our discussion later will be involving the attraction that Jeremiah got to ride last week, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So stay tuned for Cosmic Rewind coming up later today. We'll spend plenty of time on that. We want to get all the other stuff out the way first, and then we'll leave the rest of the show to rewind cosmically. So first thing we're going to talk about today is really cool stuff happening at Disneyland that just dropped today, and that is the return of the Lion King's tail, but instead of going to Disney California Adventure, they're going to put that tail in the Fantasyland Theatre. I'm waiting for Rebecca to show a cool picture of this. You have no pictures?
Not of this.
You said you were going to...
You couldn't just find a picture of Simba's tail?
That was like the top
Oh,
story
well,
on my list. Okay, that's fine. Here's
I
Lion
didn't
King.
get your list.
You didn't?
Nope.
Well, this will be fun.
So go ahead.
Okay. I'm working on it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So they're over at Disney California Adventure. I know Mike's seen. I'm pretty sure Mike's seen it. The tail of the Lion King. It was this great like street style performance. I don't know, Mike. Why don't you chime in on what you remember of it? Because they're moving it over to Disneyland.
Yeah, it used to happen over on the, I think it's called the Palisades stage next to the Paradise Bay area. And it was a fun retelling of the Lion King. I remember the first time it opened, it had a bunch of performers. Then they cut a bunch of those performers. Now it seems like they'll probably have more performers than ever in the show. Now that it's moving to Fantasyland. Hey, I shot this video.
Of course you did. So I made this stuff top story. They just announced today that this will be returning to the Disneyland Resort, debuting at the Fantasyland Theater on May 28th. So make sure you check that out. Mike Mack has a comment. Lotico.
Another thing happening during happening during Star Wars Celebration.
That is going to be a very, very busy time. Also, so the other big thing happening at Disneyland Resort that we wanted to talk about is all the cool stuff that's debuted with the release of, don't tell me, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is maybe the best 80 minutes of cinema I've seen thus far this year. So, Mike Celestino, you want to tell us about your cool web slinger thingy, and then we can talk about the new characters?
Yeah, I would turn it on, but it makes a terrible noise. So I was sent to purchase the new Doctor Strange attachment for the web tech for Web Slingers attraction at the Avengers Campus. And it helps you fire portals like Doctor Strange would at the spider bots. And also there's a play mode that makes the little symbols and stuff coming out of your hands, which is very cool. Here's the video of me using it on the attraction.
Yeah, sorry, Jeremiah.
Oh, that's who said that. And so instead of flinging, you're conjuring?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting to do that. I was doing this. I was doing the force.
Oh, no,
it's more like that. Well, yeah, you can see. Well, it does kind of still shoot a little looks like maybe a bolt of electricity or something, but then you get the little portals that show up.
Really cool.
It's also going to be in 3D, so it's like not clear or focused at all.
I
We're
can make it
talking
out.
about the motion sickness. Just watching this video is doing it for me.
I watched the video earlier. You can see that it's doing something different than the webs does. It's pretty cool. Did you see anyone else using it? I'm curious, Mike.
I've rarely seen people using these things on the attraction. I think I was the only one in line. I mean, I did the single rider, which took forever anyway. Like, I don't even know if the single rider queue is worth it for web slingers because it just goes by so slowly. But yeah, I did not see anyone else doing it. No.
I can tell you, if all four of us went on it with one of those, with each of us with a different web slinger attachment, we'd have the highest score easy because the times I've ridden it, nobody uses those. Mike,
standing in queue with this thing around your wrist, feel pretty geeky?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here's me testing it out at the park. My phone camera didn't have as good a frame rate, I guess, as the live stream here, so you don't get the full effect. But yeah, when I was standing in line, I did feel like a weirdo wearing this whole contraption.
Yeah, that's very attractive. Yes, Jeremiah.
Were you dressed as Lodico going to Star Wars Happy Time?
Not this time, no.
Okay, I was going to say, wait, you spent 2 days dressed as somebody from a different planet, but you stay in line wearing that around your wrist makes you feel geeky?
It's a different level of geeky. One of them is so geeky it's cool. The other is just, something a kid should be doing. Also new in Avengers Campus with the release of the film are 2 more characters, which Mike is the master of capturing new Avengers characters. So we first got to see Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda.
Correct.
And, there she is.
I met Wanda. I chatted with her.
What did she say to you?
I just asked her about, I didn't want to spoil the film at all, so I just asked her like how she's been since the whole Westview incident, what her plans were if Doctor Strange ever approached her for help, and what happened to her fingers because they're all black now on the fingertips.
Yeah, they are. That's kind of spooky. Have you seen that movie, Mike?
Yes.
Don't spoil it.
Quite enjoyed it.
Was it good? Thank you.
Okay. I did like it quite a bit.
And did you happen to notice when you were watching the movie there was another character in there, America Chavez?
Yeah, she's a heavily featured character in the film.
Okay.
And she's also now at Avengers Campus.
And there she is. And did you talk to her as well?
No, but I was there for the Doctor Strange and the Mystic Arts show that introduced her. So instead of Thor coming out like he usually does, it was America Chavez holding that giant Thor. Isn't that his like stein that he usually comes out with? I thought that was funny. And then she immediately like went out into the land and was taking photos and posing with guests. So I just got some video of that as well. There she is.
Pretty cool. She looks young. Maybe too young to be holding that stein, but
cool. She's from a parallel universe, so legal drinking age could be 4.
Good point. Or maybe her birthday is a leap day, so she could be 4 and 5 and still be old. And never mind. Also at the Disneyland Resort, I don't think you've had a chance to see this yet, Mike, but Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. They have added a Frederick Douglass, what would the word be? Homage, tribute, next to Abraham Lincoln, of course, Frederick Douglass, an African American who fought against slavery back in the days of slavery, so very appropriate that they add that next to Lincoln, and I like that addition a lot, just a little thing that Disneyland does, and hopefully Mike gets to go see that in person soon if you haven't already. Let's see. On the other coast, Animal Kingdom trams are coming back, Jeremiah. Are you happy about that?
No. Animal Kingdom trams are almost as useless as Hollywood studio trams.
Wow, spoken like a guy in good shape, which you are, Jeremiah.
No, I mean, so they come back on the 27th. If was that the correct date? So that
8th.
is something exciting. 28th,
Oh.
the Saturday.
Oh.
So it'll be
Right.
great that they're back.
No,
It is-
Jeremiah's right. 27th. Jeremiah's right. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to
It
inspect
is-
your HTML.
It is
Sorry.
useful. But when I moved out to Florida, and coming from Disneyland, you get on a tram, you wait maybe 2 minutes, they do the spiel, you're gone. Here, it's you sit on the tram, somebody has to walk up and down each side of the tram, they have to do the announcement, they have to walk the tram again, and then it's 10 minutes later before they can start to go. Oh,
That's all a
kinda
part of the
scary.
ride. That's a part of the experience. That's what makes it fun. The tram is the first and last ride at the park. And my computer's going so slow. The first and last ride at the park, and every minute you spend on it is just increases your ride to weight ratio. So that's a positive, Jeremiah.
I don't think that counts in the grand scheme of.
When they ask you how many attractions were you able to get on today, you don't include the tram?
No. I also don't include a walking trail or the other walking trail or that third walking trail.
Also coming to Walt Disney World soon. Fantasmic. And Jeremiah, you got to chat with people a little bit about what's coming.
So this will lead into the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in a little bit, but we had a media event over the 4th and the 5th. On the 4th, we had a chance to talk about a lot of things coming. The Fantasmic one, Finding Nemo, Big Blue World, and Beyond were two of the things that they had for the entertainment. So we kind of went into it expecting not much information. We actually broke the information about the enhancements coming to Fantasmic because that was the first day they'd been talked about, where anybody that hadn't paid attention to the if you could put that logo back up, on the lower part it shows a lens lamp.
Oops, sorry.
There's the snowflake that's Frozen 2, the oar of Moana, and Aladdin's lamp. So those are the 3 of the 4 things that are taking over the former Pocahontas sequence, the 4th thing being Pocahontas. So the former long Pocahontas sequence will be changed into 4 different sequences that'll include Elsa, Moana, Aladdin, and Pocahontas. So
we also had Mulan in that list on our website. Is that accurate?
And Mulan. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. We did not have Pocahontas. So
Pocahontas is.
Oh no, we did.
They're taking up almost the exact same amount of space as the original portion. They said that it may be just a little bit longer. Throughout the show, they're tightening it up. They're bringing new effects in that they haven't been able to put in 25 years. So it's something I'm very looking forward to it. I just wish they would have given me a date at this point.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they didn't announce it opening May 28th, like pretty much everything else in the world opening that weekend.
Fantasmic, dueling Fantasmics. Where will Jeremiah be? But that was one thing. Do we have Finding Nemo, Big Blue World as something separate, or?
Nope.
That was the other thing they talked about. That will be the sequel to Finding Dory. So at the end of Finding Dory, in the post-credit scene, you see the tank gang all floating out in the bay. They are actually rescued by the Marine Institute, and they are telling the story to the fish in the Marine Institute of Finding Nemo. So it will be a change from the original show. It's actually going to be about 5 minutes shorter, so give or take 1, maybe 2 songs were cut out of it. They have updated a lot of the looks, I was going to say, and they also put in a giant LED screen. Anybody that's seen the Bourne Stuntacular in Universal, I'm guessing it's going to be like this because the way they described it, where it's going to feel like it's a non-stop transition. Hopefully that's exactly what it is. Finding Nemo is one of my all-time favorite shows, so I'm looking forward to this coming back. And hopefully next week I will actually be able to see a preview. I can talk a little bit about that.
Hey, Doobie, I wanted to bring out, Mike's got this the sipper down here. And that's actually currently on sale down at Avengers Campus because of the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Well, I don't even know what that thing's called, Mike. What's it called?
The Eye of Agamotto.
So you got it
Minus
at
the time stone.
you got it at El Cap.
Yeah, they gave this to me at the El Capitan fan event opening night. So it opens up. You can put liquid inside of it. There's a straw that pops out here. Drink out of it. You can also remove. Wait, it just happened again. Did you see that? It lit up for a second, for like an instant. But I don't know how to get it to happen. It just does it randomly. Did you see it? We got it on video now, but I don't know how to make it happen.
Your light did not provide us the opportunity to see it light up.
Oh,
I don't understand. It's driving me crazy. This lights up, but I don't know what to do to instigate it.
If anyone out there can help Mike.
Maybe it's maybe when you take it off, maybe it's on the back, and so you trigger it when it's off. Maybe there's something back there or on the side or something that you can't access when it's in there.
Hit it against your forehead.
What's really funny is Mike isn't the only recipient of this who has shared this. I saw on Twitter after the event, a friend was tweeting, "Oh, I love my new sipper. It lights up, but I can't tell how." So
keep trying, Mike. We're just gonna.
Can you get some popcorn? Can I?
It's so bizarre. I love it.
This new show, Mike with random food products.
Here's the backside in case you want to see that.
Hey, can we move over to another light up item that maybe won't be so hard for us to all figure out how to make light up, GB?
Just go for it.
MagicBand Plus. Jeremiah got to play with this at the media event surrounding Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Tell us about it. I'll share some of the photos we have of it.
So MagicBand Plus coming later this year, not last week on a random Sunday when they put them out in the shop. We got a chance to really the first hands-on with this. We got to wear them. They're a little bit thicker than the original MagicBand. The weight is pretty much comparable. This is one of the cool things about the MagicBand Plus. The interactivity that we've been promised that goes along with the Fab 50 statues. So we had a chance to go up, you wave your hand over it, and it triggers an audio response. And each of the different 50 will have a random, they didn't say how many, but they said multiple responses. So it won't just be you walk up to Mickey, hey pal, hey pal, hey pal. But the MagicBand Plus, in this instance, is very interesting. The haptic feedback, the light up, this is really the coolest part. We've been guessing that there's going to be something with the Play Disney app since it started, or the Fab 50. With the MagicBand Plus, when you go to the Fab 50, you'll be playing like a find the Fab 50 game. And when you get them all, you get a special achievement through the Play Disney app. And it gives a reason to go to all 4 of the parks and find the 50 different statues. So that I feel will be a video in the making over a few days, hopefully, when I get my MagicBand Plus. But we will definitely be covering that.
Back to the other coast for a moment. Sorry, Jeremiah.
Oh.
Mike, Orange Grove 55 is asking, do you think Avengers Campus should get an Avengers e-ticket, or will that feel outdated by the time it opens? Maybe a multiverse attraction instead? Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Oh, I don't think the Avengers are going anywhere, at the very least in the parks, and also probably not in the movies. I can't imagine they'll never make an Avengers movie again. That's got to happen again eventually, right?
Is there any reason we wouldn't get a Cosmic Rewind on the West Coast?
Massive
Space. Yeah.
I mean, they're building an e-ticket attraction in the Avengers Campus, so that was announced.
I think they need to just make room. Cosmic Rewind seems to be such a hit. You know, why do something that might be seen as inferior? Find a way to make room. Use the Pym Kitchen if necessary.
I think having 2 Guardians of the Galaxy rides next to each other is a little much.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the Guardians of the Galaxy, so.
And Mac is reminding you that you're not wearing your sling ring, so maybe that's why your zipper isn't lighting up.
Oh, yeah, that could
And
be it.
Nikki, a throwback to a previous podcast video saying maybe there's surprise popcorn in it too, aka Jeremiah's figment bucket when he didn't realize that it had popcorn. But back to the MagicBand on the other coast, the other aspect of the MagicBand Plus that they unveiled, and we'll have a link below to the video that we got with Imagineering. They are going to also be doing a adventure element over in Batu, and that's part of you'll join the Bounty Hunters Guild, and with your MagicBand, you'll have a touch point that'll then give you a task as part of the guild, and the MagicBand will, as Imagineer also described it, will kind of give you a hot or cold type interface with that haptic feedback and the light up to let you know if you're getting closer or farther away from your designated target. And then once you've gathered it via the app, because you'll do your little AR scan type thing, then you can collect credits. So once again, feeding into that system that we've seen with the Play app, where you do a task in Batu and then you garner credits and you can, continue your adventure, build your resume within the Batu universe. So I'm excited about that particular element. The idea of a haptic response while I'm in Batu is really nice addition to that experience.
Yeah, the Batu bounty will be, I think that'll definitely bring what we've been missing from Batu. Mike and I have both talked about how there's something that's, it's great, but it's just not alive. Avengers Campus is alive. Adding that little extra bit will be something fun. So next time you go to Disneyland, Mike, go over to that random building next to the garage, see if they put up a wall, because that's where they're putting up, and I can't remember the names that they gave, but that is where you'll go, and there'll be a little port that'll open and slide, and that's how you'll start your adventures.
Cool.
If you're into tech, we also have a demo of the Hey Disney device that kind of like Alexa that they're putting in hotel rooms at the resorts. You can check that on our website. Anything stick out for you about that, Jeremiah?
I really enjoyed it, and I actually found myself waking up the next day going, "Where's Hey Disney?" Not Hey, you know who. The alarms you can either do random or you can select certain characters to wake you up. And as we're talking, and you can't see my face in the video, but they're talking about the key Disney brands, and they say Star Wars and this. And as they're talking, I lean back and look, and I see Muppets. And the first thing that he says is, "My favorite's the Muppets," and they'll have Animal waking you up. So that alone is going to be worth the purchase.
I'm super excited about the Hey Disney, because Alexa and I are very close friends here at home, and so I'm excited to see how the Alexa interface will happen on a Disney vacation now. So, and I'm looking forward to the element that's coming home. They haven't yet unveiled that either, but right now, if you are an Alexa user, you can go to Amazon and you can sign up for notification when Hey Disney Alexa skill does become available for the devices that will be able to utilize that. In regards to Fantasmic, they had a little bit of fun for the media. Mike Mack got to do his best Mickey impersonation. Meanwhile, I guess for Jeremiah, it was just a mind-blowing experience.
That is so Nickelodeon. I never realized how Jeremiah looks like that guy.
Thank you. Two other people, when I tweeted that out, I was like, I feel like the beginning of "You can't do that on television."
You actually look like him, Jeremiah. That's kind of freaky.
I'm not. My hair is not receding. So
well, you do have a good piece up there.
Yeah, we got a chance to talk about the shows. The tech part, I think, was my favorite part, especially the MagicBand Plus, and seeing where we're going to the MagicBand Plus, I can definitely see how Disneyland it'll go seamlessly into Disneyland, and it'll be exciting to see how that goes. I also learned some other fun things about the Play Disney app that I'll have to share with Mike later on the Batu data pad information. Maybe that's something we'll share doing a special podcast some other time.
So going back to the West Coast real quick, I promise we've got Cosmic Rewind and Epcot updates coming up, but we like to tease. So Mike Celestino had the opportunity to go to Disneyland After Dark Star Wars Night on May the 3rd. They had another one May the 4th. They've got another one coming up, I think the 27th, something like that, maybe the 26th. Doesn't matter. It's already sold out. So if you have a ticket, you know when it is. But Mike talked about that a little bit earlier on Star Wars headlines, but we're going to make him talk about it a little bit more today. A lot of characters, Mike.
Oh, wow. Wait, hold up. Let me make
whoa.
big.
Make him big.
Hang on. I'm working on it. Nope, wrong one. Not you.
I got it.
I was there for a second.
Sorry, you got it.
Go back, Mike. That appears to be some boxer shorts.
Nice.
No, it's a shirt.
That's cool. So those are bounty hunters,
Yes,
and you got that. Is your favorite on there, Bosk Man?
he is. Yeah, I had to get it because it had Bosk on it. He's over here. Well, he's on one of those sides. There he is.
Yes, there he is, the green guy. That's cool. So you want to go ahead, Rebecca?
No, I was just going to say, we talked a little bit about it, as GB mentioned, on Star Wars headlines, but Mike was in attendance at Star Wars After Dark. No, Disneyland After Dark, Star Wars Night at Disneyland. Lots of entertainment, food, characters. What you want to discuss here, Mike?
Yeah, a lot of characters people were excited about. There's Captain Rex there, the Seventh Sister. They had Jawas, Tusken Raiders. Let's see, the Cantina Band were playing music in the Rivers of America on one of the rafts, going around, all sorts of stuff. There was a big lightsaber meetup. They had lightsaber training in front of a small world. There's Darth Vader and some stormtroopers in Tomorrowland Terrace, and Emperor Palpatine was there next to him. To Darth Maul, Zam Wessel, which is like a totally random, obscure character, sort of from Attack of the Clones. But yeah, people were lining up to get their photos with all the characters. There's photo ops, like the speeder bikes were in Critter Country. There was a Tython Seeing Stone from The Mandalorian in Tomorrowland. There's Jabba the Hutt in the Starcade. There's the Seeing Stone. And specialty food, merchandise, yeah.
I was just saying, speaking of The Mandalorian, there was also a fireworks show there, and the way it kicked off, I thought was just crazy cool.
So it was the same. It was the same fireworks show that they did 3 years ago, I think, or was it 4 years ago? 2018, yeah. And for Star Wars Night, but except they added a new opening, which was the Mandalorian theme.
Which I'm hoping the audio will come through. No, I know it's not going to come through here. I'm an idiot.
Juby.
Sorry. Huh?
Juby, you tweeted that opening, yeah?
Yes.
Is it coming through here?
Yes.
It's a great view, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last video we had from 2018 was right in front of the castle, so I thought I'd go to the midpoint of Main Street, which is another popular spot for the fireworks.
Sorry.
That's a giant mythosaur.
Giant mythosaur skull on the Big Thunder Trail photo op. There was just like a TIE fighter wing was one of them.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating mixture of photo ops, characters, and I think the hardest part for Mike, unfortunately, was just the lack of consistency. He went to check out Ahsoka. She didn't show up. We're still not sure why.
Yeah.
Right? She finally.
Well, now we know she was starting her shoot.
Right.
Yeah, she had to get ready for the show. Yeah. things were late, things were not working, things were upside down. It seemed like they needed an extra day of rehearsal, really, before everything was ready. But I had a
you
good
were the
time.
rehearsal. It was perfect for Star Wars Day.
Exactly. Yeah. By the next day, this sign was upside down. Arabesh reading Figrin Dan in the modal nodes.
And they had some projections on Main Street, projections
That's
on
hilarious.
Oh wait, Jeremiah, it gets better. Hang on, let me pull up the video. Hang on, you guys. Let me pull it. I think it's right around this mark. Okay, hang on. I'll be there. Okay, wait. Whoa. Okay, here we go. Here comes the video for Jeremiah. Since you haven't seen yet, imagine yourself. You're on the rivers of America. You're enjoying the jazz. Hang on.
Oh, I've seen that happen before out here. It's just like I love those. Like, hey, okay, we're done. Also, they don't have the correct amount of instruments for that song. So.
They use tape backing. They're actually lip syncing too. It's pretty.
There goes their Grammy.
So poor Mike. I'm coordinating at headquarters with Mike, and he's like, "Okay, so they're about to happen, and this is happening at the same time. Should I go to A or B?" And then he really wanted to capture the "It's a Small World." They had these projections that would be on it, but it only happened like every so many minutes, but not like on a specific schedule. And whenever Mike stopped by, it would just be a star field. He was never there during the animations. So it felt like poor Mike was just always like a specific, except for Captain Rex.
Right. I knew people were excited about that one, so I made that my priority at the top, and that turned out pretty well. Yeah, but he was still late. He was like 20 minutes late. He was supposed to come out at 9. He came out at 9:20. So, yeah.
He's still getting used to his programming. I'm glad we did not make the decision we're going to get Ahsoka. That's our focus. That's our priority. We're going to wait it out.
Yeah.
See, I actually think Sabine, who's been out, was pretty cool. But Ezra, I've never seen before. Like, that is... And Ezra is going to be massive coming up soon, so...
Yeah.
Although
every time I see this, I feel like I'm looking at Kingdom Hearts cosplay.
It does look a little like that, yeah.
So,
and if you want to hear more about this event, Mike and I were chatting about it in Star Wars in Star Wars headlines, because we find this event a little perplexing. Just it's delightful, and yet the things you think would make it special are kind of just available to anybody attending Disneyland, within this time frame. So it's just weird hybrid of special yet not quite special event. So be sure to check out our discussion on that.
That was very much how the Galactic Nights were out here when they do them after the movies. It would be, they'd bring out 3 or 4 random characters, but it was a lot of just photo ops and food.
Yeah, and they didn't even have event-specific merchandise that we could see. They had first opportunity to buy the merchandise that would be available the next day, but nothing like, just kind of that moment. Speaking of which, look at what Mr. Jeremiah collected. I'm gonna try and make a solo.
No, it's the Bounty Hunters.
Yeah.
There we go. So
nice.
This I bought for many reasons. One, it's really cool. It is the May the 4th MagicBand limited 3600, and it has a great rundown of the Bounty Hunters, which I don't quite understand why they went with the Bounty Hunters for this, but Book of Boba Fett, I guess, is it. So I decided to buy it because it was May the 4th, because it was a MagicBand, and this is probably the last special edition MagicBand to ever be made. Because I'm guessing next month is when we will start to see MagicBand Plus, where my $39.99 for this one will become $49.99 for those limited edition MagicBand Pluses.
Gio mentions how it sounds like makes him miss Star Wars weekends. I think that's a good comparison, but huge difference. Star Wars weekend lasted weekend, so you got to a little more time to see all the stuff that was there. But it still sounds like a cool event, Disneyland After Dark. If you're a Star Wars fan, I can certainly imagine things I would want to go see there. I don't know if they like had a Lost After Dark, and even though I couldn't do it all, just a chance to get to see like Charlie and everybody would be pretty.
You wanted to go see the smoke monster?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
This shirt popped up on May the 4th, right, Mike?
Yeah, that was new to me last
Yeah.
time I was.
We
in the
don't have
park.
that out here.
I'm in love with this whole design. It's got the Millennium Falcon. I'm guessing that's the Black Spire.
Yeah, kind of this
outpost.
skyline of Black Spire Outpost. Yeah,
I'm guessing that says Kessel Run.
Kessel Run and 12 parsecs. Yeah.
So there you go. So Jeremiah, you can be on the lookout for some merchandise, and there was also a few items in celebration of what they call Black Spire Day instead of May the 4th in Universe. When you're on Batuu, you can pick up Black Spire Day items, and Mike was able to grab a few then, and also got us a number of pictures along with that's like various locations within Black Spire. Yeah, Mike?
Yeah, Droid Depot, the milk stand, Oga's Cantina. I don't know what that next one is. Toy Darien, Toy Maker, Ronto Roasters, and Doc Ondar.
How many T-shirts do you own, Mike?
Too many.
And they also had this super awesome Luke Skywalker space. Is it a space compass? It's a star compass.
It is a star compass. They called it. Yeah.
See, there you go.
I do have this, but I don't have it here, so I can't show you. But
no, it's all good.
I have photos of it.
Yeah. So this was also available on Batuu West. If
Definitely not on East yet.
So if you are interested, stay tuned. Perhaps it will arrive at Batuu East or Shop Disney. How much was this, Mike?
It wasn't that bad. It was like 20 something, like $24 with my discount.
Yeah,
I think.
my memory, as you said, it was $30 pre-discount.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to move on to the big one? I think so. All right, so we are we are ready to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, or as Mike Matt calls it, Conga again. So, Jeremiah, why don't you get us started wherever you want to start?
Oh, this is Mac free. Can he get on here too? Let's.
I didn't ask him if you happen to be free, Mac, and you.
Oh, wait, he's here. Hang on, I'll send him the link. You guys keep talking.
Yeah, I feel like the both of us, we both saw different things. So this attraction announced in 2017 at the D23 Expo. A few months later, Ellen's Energy Adventure closed. The construction has been going on since then. We've watched a massive show building that, as is said, 4 Spaceship Earth can fit inside that massive show building. Yes, 4. It's the volume of it, not the size. So Mac and I got the chance to go for the media event. To say we were chomping at the bit to get on this ride is an understatement. First thing in the morning, we were told you can't get on the ride until 9 o'clock. So we waited. We'll talk about the other thing that happened at 7 o'clock that morning. Nothing massive, but we run over there, walk through the queue. We were lucky enough to have the audio on, which I want to say they shut off shortly after we walked through. So we were able to hear Star-Lord in his interview with Xandarian, or Good Morning Xandaria, which is definitely an ABC takeoff. He's interviewing, and in this, when he's asked why Terra, why Epcot, the things he says is, I can't wait to get back there, to go on Horizons, to see the energy dinosaurs, and to hear veggie, fruit. It's funny because in 2017, the only thing that was really announced was Guardians of the Galaxy, an attraction, and the reason why it was taking place in Epcot as the first Otherworld Pavilion was Peter Quill came here as a kid.
let me ask real quick, Mike. We've got Mac. He's going to join us. He was there as well. Mike, I'm sure you have important things to do. We're going to be Guardians now. Do you want to take a reprieve, or do you want to stay?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to editing.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Mike. Hello, sir.
Here I am sitting at home, minding my own business, watching Parks Talk, and then I get the Conga once again.
So I did a What If Lou's podcast earlier, which we'll put up the link for when that comes out. And he proceeded to make sure he sang it and played it and referenced it multiple times. But we'll get to the music in a little bit. Let's talk about the attraction itself. The attraction queue is housed inside the previous Universe of Energy building. So the entire queue and the launch area is inside that building. The full attraction is actually in the giant, massive, huge show building. Mac, you and I have both seen it under construction and seen it from a distance. When they dropped this off, we actually got to walk near it. What did you think of the size of that building?
Yeah, it's massive. I laughed before too, actually, when Doobie asked, why can't we have this on the West Coast? Yeah, it's because it's roughly the size of Avengers Campus.
Wow. Okay. Stand corrected.
Yeah, it is so massive. The building, you walk in, and to me, and Matt can back this up, there are two different doors. There's the regular entrance and the lightning lane entrance. And they're very similar to when you'd walk in Universe of Energy, as there's a wall right there, but it says Wonders of Xandar. I kept wanting to go left because that's how I used to go into Ellen's. And instead, you can only enter on the right because each of those doors points inward into the massive queue. And I'll let you talk about that. What surprises are in that first queue room, Mac?
Well, I mean, it's the Galaxarium, that first room that they shared a look of a long time ago, and it's huge and it's breathtaking when you walk in there because it's like, well, it was a weird experience for us because they were using the space for interviews, so the audio was turned off, and we walk in there and it's like, just such a weird silent room. But when they actually have everything going on, it's a really cool, like, it's a, what's the word I'm looking for? Planetarium, but like on steroids, with Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy fun thrown in. And then there's the one Marvel Easter egg that I've been able to find so far, at least, which is the voice talking to you identifies itself as World Mind, which is deep comic book nerd stuff here, but the sentient, the AI that helps Nova a lot in the comics, which is really cool.
Yeah, the World Mind is, as it's described, all the history, knowledge, everything of Xandar goes into World Mind. So pretty much if the world is going to be taken over, we'll blame World Mind on that one.
It's like Skynet.
Exactly. Some of the things that we didn't get a chance to see, the queue, that video, I think the Imagineer said, is 32 minutes. So It definitely won't be you sit there and watch the entire thing unless something goes down, because you move. The interior queue, somebody said, is only about 30 minutes total. So you're moving through that room pretty quickly. Yeah, that's the screen that's on top. Lou was lucky enough to hear the World Mind talking about the turkey leg and why everybody's obsessed with the turkey leg on Earth, or on Terra, not just the entire turkey.
Hilarious. This model looks this is a model, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks so awesome. This needs to be on display somewhere else too. This looks so cool.
Yeah, this is the second room, which is kind of the history of Xandar. What's the title of that area, Mac? Do you recall?
I don't. I think it is pretty much either the history of Xandar or
is it the Xandar Gallery?
Xandar Gallery. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
That model too is definitely like Epcot Experience was a test for this because it's the same projection mapping and stuff on it. It's really cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. And through that area, I mean, we won't spoil too much, but there are different videos And the nice thing is, we have videos of it in the queue with nobody around. It sounds like it's very jumbled because there's so much going on. But if you were right in front of it, it has those speakers that point down at you. So you think you're the only person in that area. Of course, odds of us ever seeing that queue like we did where there's nobody in it is 0.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that model, that talks about the history of Xandar, which also references Walt Disney at one point, and that's in our video. And then you walk on and you see a Star Blaster model, or yes,
Yeah.
Star Blaster model, and then the Milano model, and then the Good Morning Xandar video.
Very cool. And we have a complete video of this queue on our website and tons of pictures. So at some point, I presume you transfer from the queue to the pre-show proper, correct?
Correct. And the pre-show, the first room is very, I call it generic pre-show room. It is outstanding. It would be the best pre-show probably in many other attractions, just because the screens that they have the multi-layer where it's very much three-dimensional, but it's not. It's like you're watching the old mill in a movie theater where it feels like it's moving.
The multi-plane camera.
Yes.
Okay.
And that room introduces us to the Centurion, Terry Crews, who proceeds to make us laugh quite a bit.
And I've watched that portion of the video. It is kind of funny. He's not previously in the MCU, is he?
No.
No, this is a new role made for him for this attraction.
Yeah, and this is the second pre-show room. Not going to spoil anything, but if you ever went to the Star Trek experience, just be prepared.
Yeah, there's a ride at Universal that my son immediately mentioned that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mac heard when we first walked in. I turned around to him before anything even happened. I was like, ah!
Yeah, I can vouch for him here. Jeremiah 100% called what was going to happen in this room.
So,
But it is still impressive. I mean, I think it's more impressive than the attraction at Universal, but less impressive than the Star Trek experience.
and pro tip, Jeremiah is a walking spoiler, so do not go on attractions with him. Continue.
If somebody can put in there what I'm talking about the Star Trek experience, I'd be very surprised. Other than maybe G.
No, not now. I mean, when you were with Mac. You told him what's going to happen. 3 seconds before it happened.
It's funny. That is why. I mean, unless if I'm working, it's one thing. But when we were there to see Runaway Railway for the first time, I'm like, Jeremiah, say not one word. I'm gonna get. If I miss it, it's too bad for me.
Oh no,
I'm good. No, but he did, because it's one of those things where you get, so you don't want people to miss stuff, or you want to be prepared. So totally different scenario than what I'm talking about. But I love that he like totally he listened to me. He didn't spoil it.
This wasn't a spoiler. Like, we had no clue. It was our first time going in.
Yeah.
I just, like, when I walked in, I went, this is happening, just like to declare it almost.
Call your shot. That's right.
Yeah.
Let me mention, we're not going to completely spoil this attraction, but we are obviously going to talk about it with a little bit of detail. So act accordingly.
That's why I put that down there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want everybody to be
we're
like,
not going to show it. We're not going to show any POVs. We're not going to spell out exactly what this effect is they're talking about.
No.
So
and
in between.
This area, if you can move us and the banner off, Rebecca.
Wish me luck. Here I
because
go.
The main reason that we're on this attraction and the whole reason of it is, tell me the title of it, Mac.
Oh, the Cosmic Generator.
Thank you. I'll let Mac talk about the Cosmic Generator.
Well, if you've seen the Guardians movies, this is how they jump. They make those space jumps. They explain to us that it would take 2.5 million years to travel to Xandar from Terra if we could travel at light speed. So these space jumps connect different points in space. So that's what this generator does. And again, I don't know how far we want to go into the story, spoiling everything. But that we'll say that cosmic generator plays a big role.
Yes.
So after this, do you go get on the attraction?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's still a little bit. There's still a little bit of queue to deal with before you turn a couple corners and head down to the load platform from there.
I mean,
So-
I feel like Disney announced it. We have articles about it. This is also where we meet the antagonist of the attraction, Isan.
Elmo? Oh, sorry.
Elmo?
Oh, hey,
Tickling?
Gio, in the comments, share your little theory about the villain, because I thought that was funny and I couldn't find your tweet. I tried to find your tweet again. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
But then when we find out that we have a 0.02% chance of this plan of Rocket's succeeding, we then go follow Rocket's plan.
And so we've already made mention to Conga, and I think it's very cool that this villain, Elso, watches Isan in the comics actually watches over Miami and the Miami Sound Machine, and it's really cool that the Imagineers thought of that and made sure to use that one song.
Or as the Imagineers looked at me like I was speaking a different language, had no clue at all what was going on. Again, one of those times where I was so thankful to have Mac there so he could back me up as I'm like, was this you guys? Was this Marvel? Where did this come from? This is my favorite. And they all just like, security.
Right. I hadn't seen Gio's theory here. This is awesome. Can you
This
put
is
that up
so
again?
funny. Sorry, Jeremiah. There.
Exxon, Exxon, the original sponsor of Universe of Energy. It's all coming around.
Well, I was wondering if Nissan was going to be a sponsor, but I guess not.
Sounds a little bit like Elon too. So who is
There's
kind of the closest
Elon.
thing to Tony Sparks.
Oh, look, there's us.
So
I haven't even watched this video, actually.
There's not a whole lot of spoilers in this. The ride-through video Disney gives you, and that smile that you see on Mac's face during this ride, I can attest to that being plastered on his face for the rest of the day.
Yeah, only thing is they cut out the part where I threw my arms up as soon as Conga started playing.
Yeah. No, this wasn't Conga. This was
You're right. We had
the world.
Yeah, we had Everybody Wants to Rule the World for this one, which I had 3 times as opposed to the 5 times I had Conga.
So the second time when you got Conga, you're like, yes, something different. And little did you know.
First was Conga. Second was Everyone Wants to Rule the World.
Okay.
Third was Conga. Fourth was Conga.
So you can see the ride vehicle there, and a very important point that these two have made over and over, and I think it is good to remember. This ride vehicle does turn to point you in different directions, but Jeremiah, does it spin?
No, does not spin. I don't even remember like a full 360 ever.
Yeah, I don't think so.
When at the very end when we're doing a spiraling vortex down, you're focused forward. So you're on the inner circle, and I think that has been described as probably the most intense part of the attraction.
Yeah.
So if those of you who don't like the spinnies, don't be scared off by this type of ride vehicle. It does not spin. It just is like an omni mover on a track, which is such a cool concept. And there you can see what it's doing, and it's a pretty controlled turn. It's not you don't go crazy. Wow, this is so incredible. Can you imagine this, but in the dark while a bunch of screens are around you? How cool would that be?
One of the other things that you just said, that screens, we're in the mindset now of when we talk about a screen-based attraction, sadly we think about like Fast and the Furious or some of the other Universal attractions. This does not feel like you are just looking at screens the entire time. There are practical sets. There's massive practical pieces to it. I don't feel like there's ever a time, other than maybe the launch, where I was like, oh yeah, this is just a giant screen.
Yeah, there was even one ride where Jeremiah will probably remember this too, where I pointed at what I guess was a screen and legitimately thought it was a giant practical piece. Because it's that believable too. So the screens aren't, it's not what you're used to. I guess it's the way you're moving and how far off you are from the screens that it really changes the way it hits.
That's amazing. So
that's been what I find really fascinating in listening to, you know, all my friends who've been riding it, is that the combination of the ride vehicle motion, where, you know, the vehicle itself is can, you know, obviously it's moving on the track, but then to have your own point of view pivoting, and then the video above you, they're able to give you that sense of being in space. They're able to give you that sense that, you know, you're just not floating as in you get the 0G per se, but just that sense of freedom of motion that one thinks of when you think of space travel. It's really, really nifty. I'm so hopeful. I happened to go just before its official date, and I'm hoping that, because there's been all these previews and whatnot, I'm hoping that against all odds, there'll be some soft openings while I'm there. But if not, you know, I'll be back in the fall and I'll have to tackle it then. But I'm so excited.
I think Mac should talk about how I did 12 times and he did 8 times, and why I think it really triggered him early on, what he did that I didn't do. And that's a good pro tip.
Yeah. I think it was our second or third ride, maybe. I was, you know, because the second ride, I started to notice more things. There's audio cues throughout the attraction. There's a lot of different visuals. So I'm constantly looking for different Marvel Easter eggs. And so on the third ride, I started really looking around to try and find anything I could find. And as we're moving in different directions and turning, and that got to me a little bit.
It's like the lesson Doobie learned on Screamin'.
Yes.
That one.
I really wanted to see Disneyland go upside down, so I turned my head on the loop, and I had a crick in my neck for days.
That's an excellent callback to Ellen's Energy Adventure.
I was going to say 10,000 years will really do that to you.
So when it comes to like Max, by the way, has a really, really good review on our website. Go check that out. But when it comes to rides of this ilk, I kind of think of Forbidden Journey, Spider-Man, Indiana Jones, obviously not screens, but another incredibly themed thrill ride. Obviously Rise of the Resistance. Where would you guys rank Cosmic Rewind?
We had this discussion, I want to say at least 10 times over the day. As far as Walt Disney World goes, like the entire property, it's in my top 3 with Rise and Tower of Terror, which is funny because none of those 3 are original Disney properties. But I would say that those are my top 3. I wouldn't say which order I would pick them in because it's difficult, but that definite top 3.
Well, before we leave Jeremiah, Spider-Man, considered by many the best attraction in the world, and in a lot of ways the most similar to this one. How would you compare it to that? I
think Spider-Man is something even more unique. It's very unique in its own attraction. No, I don't think that this is comparable to that. I think if we were going to say Remy versus Spider-Man, easy Spider-Man. This, with it being the coaster, the combination of the entertainment, not as many practical sets as Spider-Man. So, you know, Spider-Man still is one of the best attractions ever.
And you were talking about web slingers. What about Spider-Man on the East Coast? Just kidding. How about you, Mac?
Yeah, same 3 attractions that Jeremiah listed, but I would throw Haunted Mansion into that mix as well, just because, you know, personal favorite. So I mean, Guardians is definitely at least hashtag top 4, but it is really hard to say. I mean, and Jeremiah, in the moment, you were saying, you know, this is probably my favorite attraction on property. Now I know, you know, recency bias plays a factor there, but then coming out, you get to sit on it for a few days, and you know, you kind of now it's top 3, and I think that's about where it belongs. I will say, as far as Epcot goes, it's number 1, and there's no competition. Like especially if I'm looking for a thrill ride, I'm going to Guardians and nothing else.
So I was just going to say, so you, without question, both of you would say this attraction is top tier, comparable to Rise of the Resistance, comparable to Flight of Passage. This is an incredibly excellent attraction.
This is the e-ticket attraction Epcot has needed forever.
Soren, what did you put up?
Oh, sorry. No, it was this one. because Gio says that he'd compare it so far based on, you know, everything he's seeing to Space Mountain. I thought John Frost of our friend John Frost over at the Disney blog, when he was doing his kind of first reaction video, he in essence said if they were given a Space Mountain project now, it would be like this. That for him, that's what this is. This is like a similar recreation of travel in space, but using what is now kind of that cutting edge technology that back, you know, when they built Space Mountain is what gave us Space Mountain. So I thought that was a really interesting comparison. I appreciate that from Frost.
Yeah, that's a really good assessment because it is very reminiscent of Space Mountain, just, you know, brought into modern day.
Yeah, there are times where when you're going through the different jump points and it's not just darkness, it's stars, and there is no light sneaking in like in Space Mountain from the people mover or anything. So you feel like you are literally in space, and the motions and the fluidity of it is amazing. One of the things, Mac, we never talked about, the cars, you know, each of the trains is 5 cars. Each car has 2 rows of 2. I don't feel like I ever noticed the other cars around me, with the exception of like one of my last rides where I was looking for it.
Yeah. I was going to say there was one spot where I think it was only one ride too, where I noticed it, where, you know, something lit up, you know, a different effect somewhere else in the attraction lit up that I noticed that wasn't timed up for us. But that, again, that was one time. I mean, it was operating definitely very differently for us than it will in normal operation. So I'm curious to see how that will change. But yeah, I could see it definitely feeling like you're the only ones in there.
I have a question for you guys, and I hope I'm able to ask it well. Mission Space uses a centrifuge to give you an effect where you don't know you're in a centrifuge. It just uses that to create a completely different effect. Do you feel like you're on a coaster on this?
No. Other than the spiral vortex at the end, I didn't really ever feel, there's 2 points, the spiral vortex and the climb when you're heading up to the spiral vortex are really the only 2 times where I kind of felt like, okay, this is where I'm on the coaster. Everything else is so fluid and so smooth. You don't really feel, Mac.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. There are a couple of moments where you kind of remember that you're on a coaster, but the rest of the time you spend it moving in directions and just in ways that you've never experienced before, and you forget what you're doing. Like, you just get so lost in the whole experience with the music and the characters and the visuals and everything. So yeah, you can easily lose sight of the fact that you're on a coaster.
It's just a weird thought, you know, because like Space Mountain, you can get kind of, your eyes adapt and you can kind of get some sense of like where your track is going ahead of you.
Sure.
And just the idea that here you're not really going to have that ability, because the track may be going this way, but they're going to pivot your car off to this way and have a visual that makes you feel like you're, you know, heading off that way or something. You know, it's just such a, I can't wait. I'm really stoked.
So innovative. I don't know enough about other companies to know if something like this exists elsewhere, because it seems so incredibly innovative to marry a roller coaster, to marry a roller coaster and a doom buggy to create an experience unlike either one.
Yeah.
I haven't done Green Gods. Is it somewhat similar to that, guys?
Matt, I'll let you answer first.
Is it somewhat similar? Yes, in the sense that it's a coaster with show scenes, but that's about the end of the similarities right there. It moves so differently than Gringotts or anything else.
The Doom Buggy aspect just seems quite revolutionary, which Spider-Man does, but it doesn't have the full coaster aspect.
Right.
So I'm so excited to try this too.
Yeah, Gringotts. Going in, I was thinking, okay, Gringotts. Going after writing it, Gringotts isn't even a thought. I mean,
wow.
Gringotts is an uncomfortable seat with not a great storyline.
That's for sure.
Other than great sets, that's all that they have on that. And there's no real coaster point. Like for Gringotts, you don't feel like you're on a coaster, other than that couple of times where you are free spinning almost. I know you're not, but you're just going in circles as you're going around. This is controlled from start to finish.
And for the record, by the way, I love Gringotts. I absolutely love that attraction. So it's not a knock on Gringotts. This is just
right.
You do? I've never met anyone that loves Gringotts.
I've never met anybody that didn't like Back to the Future movies.
Okay, shut up.
Hey, can we talk about the merchandise a little bit, Doobie?
Yes.
Sure.
Let's talk about it. It's not available quite yet, I don't believe, but
but here's just a preview. Here's a broad look, because they're doing 4 different collections. The guys got us great images from all 4, but they've got one that's called the Eyes of Quill, that's going to be more based upon a retro Epcot logos. You've got one that's called the Heroes of Xandar, that realizes the characters of Guardians as heroic figures, kind of a rock concert, rock star style merchandise. You've got a celebration of Groot, and then finally, I forget what they call it, but it's a nod to like Novacore. So you've got a lot of kind of, to me, what look like military insignias and that kind of merchandise in it. I'm going to try and follow you guys as you talk a little bit, but if you share some of what you guys really enjoyed, I've got some images here. I'll try and put up what you're talking about.
I think both Mac and I are just going to be poor. When we walked in, this was one of the first things that I saw, and I was like, I wanted to buy that then and there. The retro stuff is done so well. All of it is great. I mean, they even have cheesy sports bottles, which I don't know who's going to actually buy them, or fanny packs, but I know the fanny packs will sell out immediately. But all of the retro merchandise, the line was done perfectly. Like, I never made it to Epcot when it was still the retro stuff, so I only remember the images. So these images of the original bag of what some of the stuff is based off of, and random things.
Oops, sorry.
Nope, wrong bag. But
wrong bag.
the magnet. There's a sports bottle in the background. It's just so great with the colors, the look. We were talking to the merch people, and I just can't wait to see, like, this is just the first line. So in a couple of years, when all of a sudden we have the second line, what's going to come out of it? And then, of course, the fully articulated Groot that smells of, I'll let you answer that, Mac.
Cedar and cinnamon. That is the scent of Groot.
Yeah, the merch is so good. And then there's that, which if it wasn't black, I would have found a way to walk out with that.
And where can people find these items? The Xandar...
Treasures of Xandar.
Treasures of Xandar.
This is the one that Matt kept talking about, this Guardians Galaxy. I think it was Matt kept talking about this one with the various locations on the back.
Yeah, it's really cool. Different planets from around the Marvel universe that the Guardians have been to in the movies. And just a really cool idea for a shirt.
And I want... Well, okay, this is cute, but this is not what I want. This is what I want. This is a bubble blower, by the way, and it's going to have music from the movie. So I'm sure it's going to wiggle a little bit, too, because it's too cute. So, but this is what I want. I want the light up Yondu headpiece that you can see there in the background. And then it comes with this, with the arrow, and it will respond to sound in a haptic and light up way from what I gather. And I am all about that Yondu headpiece, because that is just epic. Something that isn't, I'm just envisioning. I'm so happy.
I see that being the Luigi tire hat, where everybody's like, I have to have that. And then everybody buys it, and then nobody else will get it. Because while it is very cool, if I see more than one person walking around Epcot wearing this ever, I will be shocked.
We'll see. I'm excited for it. But I'm a sucker for light up. So
it is cool. It's a cool idea. I'm curious to see how it works too.
Gio points out that strange you don't exit through the gift shop, which is really unusual these days. But you can't get from the exit to the rest of the park without passing it, though.
Well, there's also the whole storyline that it wouldn't fit. But we can go into that in a little bit when we talk Easter eggs also.
And then Disney's really in love with these heat changing items. And so they've got the Guardians of the Galaxy mug. And then on the other side of the mug, it has an empty frame because when you pour hot beverage in, it will unveil a Quill family trip photo from Epcot 87, reportedly. So.
And they also have that in one of the little notebooks. They have that on the cover. And something that Lou Mongello pointed out or made a joke about, and then I did the immediate tie to this. What was hot in the early 80s, late 90s? Hypercolor. There you go. There it is.
Yep.
You still have your Hypercolor shirts, don't you, Doobie?
I don't even know what that is.
Where
You
I can
mean,
walk up and put my hand on it and it'd leave the mark.
No, we didn't have that in my neighborhood.
We had the pencil. Do you remember the pencil you used to rub?
Okay,
And then you
that
make
does
it like
ring
a
a bell.
different color. It's like
That I do remember. That we had.
kind of thing.
That we had.
All
right, so-
Rebecca, I don't know if you had a photo of the neon sign, but give me like a month or so, and you will see that right around here.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be part of this backdrop here.
So, Mac, I was able to confirm right now during the annual pass previews, they are not offering merchandise either.
Oh,
So
no.
you might as well just make your plan to go there on the 27th and get that, and I'll give you my shopping list also.
I booked the earliest reservation I could get already.
So
That's
July
great.
28th?
Which is, I know, 2023.
Yeah, that sign. They told us that it has different settings, so it'll change colors and stuff. So I'm really excited to play around with that and see how it looks with the rest of this collection behind me.
Light up is the way to go. Where you want to? What do we got left to talk about, Mr. Doobie? What you want to talk
There are
about?
6 songs. I should mention that. There are 6 songs, but Conga is by far the
Pretty sure
best.
there's only one. There's only one song.
So with the 6 songs, what I was able to experience 4 of them without Mac. Usually I get something different. It was quite entertaining. There are different audio cues on the attraction. Like the Guardians make other comments. And the first time we went on it, we weren't able to hear anything. I think mostly because we were just rocking out to Conga, which we thought would be enjoyable later on. But then the second ride, I was able to pick up on different comments that Drax or Rocket or Star-Lord or Gamora make. And Mac got Everyone Wants to Rule the World and Conga. They have the same comments on those.
Yeah.
I was able to get 2 of the other ones, and those 2 had the different ones. So elimination goes to show each 2 songs has different narration. So something different to hear as you go.
And Gio's asking, does Conga give you nightmares of Tiki under new management? Is that why you're so uninspired by the sounds of the Miami Sound Machine?
No, for me, it dates back to MTV showing that video every 5 minutes when I was a kid. So it just continues. Same with like the other songs that I got were September and One Way or Another. And September was one of my least looking forward to ones because in my brain it is tied to Night at the Museum. So it's not as bad. I will say of the 4, Everybody Wants to Rule the World is definitely my favorite. Mac?
Yeah. Given the options, yes, I would agree.
It's also the best song in general of those 6. It's one of the top 10 songs of all time. Bother you, Mr. Mac?
No, I don't think I've ever even bothered to try putting together a list of the top 10 songs of all time.
Oh, my list of the top 10 songs of all time probably has about 120 songs on it.
So one of the things that, again, Lou pointed out to me earlier was all of the songs kind of tie together with the attraction. if you listen to lyrics about the different things, they all, everybody wants to rule the world, Iran. So go and listen to Conga and see if you can find what associates with the attraction.
And Truman makes a point. If I go and wait 5 hours, which you're not going to do because they're going to have virtual queue, but I would hate Conga. You have no choice in choosing a song, right? You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, Gideon learned that in preschool. Yeah. So if your heart is set on riding this with one way or another, too bad.
Yeah.
Don't ride with me. Basically.
Yeah.
That's the lesson.
It doesn't take anything away from the attraction. It is a good. It makes the ride. I mean, I want to say later in the day when we heard it again, we were both enjoying it.
Yeah.
But again, we had the unique opportunity to ride the attraction over and over and over again, which we, along with nobody else, will ever get the chance to do. So Conga isn't this is horrible. If you ride it with Mac or I, yes, we'll be complaining the entire time. But
maybe they will do an Epcot After Dark, and other people will get that chance too. So
So we can finish after this. We don't need to talk about any Easter eggs or anything. One of the things that came into my head yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to say this to Mac, could we be seeing possible overlays on this attraction at some point? Could there be something that could come out of that?
I may or may not have mentioned this on both Marvel Time and Zacks of Life. There is a cover of Everybody Wants to Rule the World that would fit perfectly for a Halloween overlay of this attraction.
Yeah, and even they could change out Isan as the villain because they could do all sorts of things again because it is media based. From the time you walk in, other than the queue, they have a little bit of small things in the queue, but I think they could definitely do a lot more with it.
Spoiler alert. I thought the same thing when Toy Story Midway Mania launched, and look at how that worked out.
They did some.
2 different games from that.
Oh, no, please. When that thing launched, because it was so screen-based, we were all, they're going to have Halloween versions, and they're going to have Christmas versions, and they're going to have none of it.
Remember, Star Tours only took 30 years or 25 years to change to its different choices.
Meanwhile, World of Color gets a new version every time it sneezes.
Don't say that word. If you say it 2 more times, Tony's going to appear.
I was going to say, though, for a Halloween overlay, I don't think they even really need to shoot new media or anything like that. You could cut the audio cues, maybe cut out some of the lights on some of the effects, and just add creepy music, and this would be just a totally different experience.
Yeah,
I want you to go on with headphones, Mac, and your own songs, and tell us which one in fact, that's what I want you to do to make sure you don't get Conga again. You have headphones on, and as soon as you hear that first downbeat of Conga, press play, start, and get something else.
Got it.
Click on that play button.
I might have to. The only thing is now it might be a while before, and it's going to be few and far between my experiences of this attraction from this point on. But
but you got it good. I'm glad you got the chance to experience it 42 times, 41 of them being Conga. Anything else? What other just overall Epcot update did they give on the major Epcot update?
Oh, the Epgate?
Just answer the question.
They put out a video that talked about the expansion of I can't think of the name of what they're calling it. Is it just Communicore Plaza? Yeah. And they're going to put a fountain with the 3 ring or the multiple rings that represent the Epcot logo. That'll be the center. Lots of trees. Yes, Dreamer's Point is still coming back. No, we don't know anything about that.
Sorry.
And in this picture, you can see in the near corner, that's the Moana water area, which I can never remember the name of it. And in the back is the Communicore building that essentially they tore down 2 massive buildings and are now making a smaller building with everything that was in those massive 2 buildings. It will be the home of Mickey and Friends, not the parking structure.
Oh, sorry.
That'll be the main meet and greet area for Mickey and Minnie's. Thank you, Kyle. Journey of Water.
Inspired by Moana.
And it will also have production kitchens. I know one of the things that Mac was quite interested in is they talked about how they can do mixology classes in there. It'll also have a large stage, which they made a point, I want to say they called out at least 2 or 3 times, of this massive stage that they can do either intimate performances or massive performances for. So we'll be seeing, I think, possibly more of the concert area move there away from American Adventure.
Do you think for the intimate experience it's like this, and then for massive they just kind of flash the lights and then you're in a much bigger space?
Yes, exactly. Lights go out. And
I have to say, I think that's my disappointment in this design, is that previously it seemed like they were moving to where we were going to have a large entertainment venue, possibly shielded from elements, maybe even enclosed. It was kind of hard to tell, but at least there was that possibility, whereas this is very clearly, once again, open air. And so I was kind of, like I say, that was just one of the things that was kind of on the flip side, the idea that we weren't going to have a 2-story, multiple story structure in front of Spaceship Earth when I'm looking at it from, World Showcase Lagoon. That was a bonus. So it's kind of, win-lose kind of scenario for me as far as this difference from the imagery we'd seen earlier.
Well, go back one photo.
Tell me which one you want.
The overall plaza with the building. So
This
you can
one?
see the stage. Yeah. So the stage is going to be under that canopy in the center, which will be nice. So it will give some, it will block out some of the elements. But look at the comparison between the humans and the building next to it and the building on the other side. That's going to be a pretty massive building. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Also, trees. That goes back to the original concept shown at the 2015 D23 Expo of here's what's coming to Epcot, before they put in the giant spider building where this just had greenery. So that'll be something nice. I am hoping that they are growing those trees 5 years ago.
That's my problem, is too much trees. Epcot is supposed to be a nice, sterile, concrete environment.
Oh, that's right. I
reminiscent of the perfect future. And instead, I've got a bunch of greenery that's just going to take my happiness away.
I always forget about you and your lack of appreciation for greenery. And I did notice that rather than the imagery seemed to, rather than the kind of embedded fiber optic sparkly stardust look, they're going a lot more with this ribbon technology that we're seeing, that we saw kind of go up in the entrance plaza. It looks like they're doing similarly, kind of as like almost a bordering around within the sidewalk. So we're gonna have, so it looks like lighted, concrete yet again. In fact, they talk about illumination, but so far it's not looking to me, within the concepts at least, that it'll have that same kind of twinkle light, fairy dusty looks that we've seen previously. I hope they at least have an homage to that somewhere, because I loved that.
I was talking to somebody and they're like, hopefully that is something that is somewhere. And considering they've completely redone all the concrete in front of Spaceship Earth and now behind Spaceship Earth, if they didn't put that in there somewhere, I feel like they just did a massive disservice to everybody that was born in the late 80s into the 90s, because that's what they remember is those fiber optic walkways.
Yeah.
Talk about overreacting. Epcot has done a massive disservice. Everyone born in the late 80s. Good.
Well,
See why they call you the jerk.
That fiber optic stuff didn't come until Epcot 94, I believe.
I personally absolutely love the current entrance plaza. Every time we try to leave Epcot at night, we end up spending 45 minutes there just sitting, listening to the music, watching the lights go around. It's awesome. So if you give me a second one of those in the park, I'm all for it.
And they called out that one of the benefits of that area is to see the other side of the silver spaceship Earth, so you can watch the shows at night on that side also.
Mhm.
I just noticed something. Does Mac have a little more hair on his face than he normally does?
I've been too busy to shave this week.
But Celestino's the opposite. It's like we have a hair quotation for Mike's here.
It was
And we
a
have
it was a
to balance each
donation
other out.
program that we started. Yeah, Mike was our first donor.
Like
Just
balancing out the
transports it over
universe.
to you.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. I think we have taken up enough of your time today. There's one more thing I did want to mention, and that is 2023 itineraries for Adventures by Disney have been released, and we didn't have time to get to those today, but Rebecca will be getting to them tomorrow.
You betcha. I'll be here with Becky of Mouseman Travel. We're going to be talking about the upcoming itineraries that have been announced for 2023 from Adventures by Disney. We're going to talk a little bit about Adventures by Disney. I know Jeremiah's taken an Adventure by Disney, and he had a great time.
If you need help tomorrow, I don't think I'll be doing anything else.
Okay, so I will remember that. I'll bug you after this to talk about it. And just a reminder, man, 4 years ago,
Wow.
Universe of Energy, it looked like this, and then there you go.
That was one of those just random, my time hop. I was scrolling through in the morning, I saw that, and then when we walked in, I took that picture. I was like, that's pretty good. Like I would have liked a little bit more time to measure and get everything set, but I want to say that picture almost came out perfect.
Mm-hmm.
How it started, how it's going. Thank you, Mac, for taking time out of your busy schedule to volunteer to be on our show.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you, Jeremiah. Rebecca, love you as always. Doobie, thank you for being here as well. And we will see you guys next time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the dingy.